Welcome to this short video on assessment. Please use the controls to pause or replay the video. You can also drag and drop the control panel to another area on the screen. This module will provide you with suggestions for writing better multiple choice questions, including writing questions that assess higher order thinking skills. Multiple choice questions work well for online tests because they are easily graded, feedback is generally faster, and they can be written to assess higher level thinking skills. A multiple choice question consists of a stem and answer options, also known as alternatives. One best option will be the correct answer, the others are considered distractors or incorrect options. Here are some helpful do's and don'ts when writing your questions. Do use a question whenever possible. It is more effective than a statement with a fill in the blank. Don't use a negative question. Learners tend to miss the not when reading the question, resulting in an incorrect response. Do ensure there is only one or clearly best option and all options contain homogeneous content. Don't use choices that are obviously incorrect. These are easily ruled out. Do make your incorrect choices plausible. Determine common errors or miscalculations and use them as answer options. Don't use all of the above or none of the above. Typically, these options are used as a correct response. If you do use this type of question, create another one where all of the above or none of the above is an incorrect option. Do make your answer choices approximately the same length. The longest answer is usually the correct choice. Do use letters to designate answer options, such as A, B, C, etc. Do vary the placement of the correct answer. Typically, C is often used as the correct choice. Try to have an equal number of each. Now that we have reviewed some best practices for multiple choice questions, let's look at how to use multiple choice questions to assess your students at a higher level. Much of the time, multiple choice questions assess content at lower levels of learning. These are classified as recall or basic comprehension questions. These questions are designed to assess basic facts, definitions, procedures, and processes. They test the recognition or memory of isolated information from course content. Here is an example in the area of printmaking. Which chemical is used to melt toner? A. Acetone, B. Alcohol, C. Turpentine, D. Lithothene. The answer is A. In this question, the learner is asked to recall a basic fact about a material used in printmaking. At this level, the response illustrates the learner's knowledge of isolated information within course content. By using a bit of thought and creativity, multiple choice questions can be developed to assess learning at a higher level, specifically the application and analysis levels. Application questions are designed to assess beyond basic facts to additional understanding and skills in order to distinguish between the one correct answer and all plausible answers. Application questions may provide a set of variables within the stem, a sequencing of steps, a table or chart with instructions on what the learner needs to consider. Scenarios may also be provided to set up the stem and answer options. Examples of questions they can ask are, what is the next step? Which of these show? If this occurs then? Using the chart, calculate. Here is an example in the area of printmaking. Which one of the following techniques does an invitation designer likely use for their printmaking? A. Lithography, B. Intaglio, C. Relief, D. Calligraphy. The answer is C. The learner must distinguish between the methods and the likelihood of using the method for a large volume product like invitations. In this application question, the learner must not only identify the qualities of each method for producing multiple prints, but the method must also be able to make them on a limited budget. This question asks the learner to weigh the qualities of each method and make a judgment call based on those qualities. Analysis questions represent an even higher level of complexity for multiple choice questions and require the student to synthesize multiple variables beyond simple recall of basic facts. Analysis questions can involve evaluation of data, complex problem solving, making judgments about best, most appropriate, or effective course of action in a given scenario, integrating aspects of various areas of curricula to formulate a complete picture of the data represented in the STEM or given scenario. Examples of questions they ask are, what would happen when? Compare and contrast. What is the likely reason? In this scenario, what conclusion? Higher level questions will push learners to go beyond identifying content knowledge and ask them to discern and make judgments using their content knowledge. Here is an example in the area of printmaking. For a printing project made using a drawing primarily of crosshatch, if you want your print to be dark and full of detail, how should you proceed with your acid etch? A. A long dip in a hot etch acid bath with a ratio of 6:1. B. A short dip in a hot etch acid bath with a ratio of 6:1. C. A long dip in a cool etch acid bath with a ratio of 10:1. D. A short dip in a cool etch acid bath with a ratio of 10:1. The answer is C. Once again, the learner not only has to have knowledge of crosshatch elements of a drawing, strength of an acid bath, and the process to reach the desired result of the final printing. All need to be considered when determining the strength of the acid bath and how long the plate should remain in the acid bath. For this analysis question, the learner was asked to move beyond application-level questions and use multiple variables to determine the response that was best able to answer the question. This question provided a short scenario where the learner had to determine the best way to proceed in order to reach the desired result. This pushed the learner to lean on knowledge of the process, the various materials, time effects, and effects of all elements on each other. When used in an online format, multiple choice questions can be easily graded, provide faster feedback, and be written to assess higher level thinking skills. While it does take a little more effort to develop higher level multiple choice questions, the effort is certainly worth being able to better assess students' depth of understanding while also enabling you to provide timely feedback on their performance.